Enya. You won't believe what she finally admitted. For decades, Enya, the most private voice in pop, let the songs do the talking. No tours, few interviews, a castle with locked gates and a studio no one sees. And then, after years of silence, she confirmed what fans always suspected. Solitude isn't her retreat, it's her fuel. The quiet life isn't a phase, it's the plan. And yes, she's still creating on her clock, in her way. Curious how a shy pianist from a tiny Irish village became a global legend while hiding in plain sight? Let's slip behind the curtain. Her story starts far from the noise. Ethne Padraigin ni Braunain, you know her as Enya, was born on the 17th of May, 1961, in County Donegal, Ireland. At home, music wasn't a hobby. It was the air everyone breathed. Her father, Leo Brennan, ran a cozy pub where songs poured out nightly, and her mother, Meyer Brennan, taught music and kept the tradition alive. In Gweedor, Gowth Dobhair, the Irish language shaped how words felt in the mouth, and you can still hear that softness in her vowels. By 4, she was practicing piano. By 5, she was already brave enough to perform, starting the wrong song, catching herself, and carrying on like a pro. Early nerves met early grace. Boarding school with the Sisters of Loreto added Latin, art, and classical music to the mix. For a while, she pictured a quiet life as a music teacher. But destiny had other ideas. The family band Clannad, steered by older siblings and uncles, was turning Irish folk into something modern and atmospheric. Enter producer Nicky Ryan and lyricist Roma Ryan, two people who heard in Enya's voice a world waiting to be built. At first, she slipped into Clannad as a supporting player, keyboards here, harmonies there, but her compass was already pulling toward a sound that didn't exist yet. When tensions nudged the Ryans away from the group, Enya faced a choice: go home to Donegal or take a leap with them into the crew. Unknown. She chose the leap. Money was tight. A shed out back became Aigle Studio, Aigle in French, cables threading past toys and teacups, the hum of a home becoming the heartbeat of a new music. Nicky Ryan produced and shaped the sonic space. Roma Ryan wrote words that felt like myths you almost remember. Enya layered voice on voice until a single melody rippled like a choir. Those early years were experiments and little sparks. A TV documentary about the Celts needed music. Enya delivered so much more than cues, she delivered an atmosphere. That atmosphere became her debut album. Then came the breakthrough Everyone Can Hum, Orinoco Flow. It's impossible to overstate how strange and brave that song was for mainstream radio. No drums pounding, no vocal belts to the rafters, just tides of harmony lifting you up and out. Sail Away wasn't just a lyric, it was an invitation into a new kind of pop. The world said yes. Albums followed. Watermark, then Shepherd Moons, each one a room you could step into and feel your pulse slow. In 2000, A Day Without Rain arrived like a warm lamp in winter. After the tragedy of 9/11, Only Time became a balm, played in vigils and living rooms everywhere. The song didn't fix anything. It did something rarer. It let people breathe. All that success, tens of millions of albums arrived without the usual machine. Enya didn't tour. She rarely appeared live. She let the records be the show. Risky? Absolutely. But it fit the art. Those choral layers, sometimes hundreds of stacked vocal lines, need time, quiet, and obsession. Rushing would snap the spell, and she refused to break the spell. Of course, the spotlight still found her. Awards piled up. Pop and hip-hop artists sampled her early tracks. The DNA of Enya's sound threaded into songs you've heard in taxis and clubs. Even so, she kept the shutters half drawn. Interviews were gentle, rare. Fame, for her, was noise around the music. Let's talk about that privacy people love to gossip about. Manderley Castle, her home near Dublin, became both sanctuary and fortress. After frightening run-ins with stalkers, security turned serious. The house was restored room by room, detail by detail, until it felt like a place where songs could land. Friends describe her not as aloof, but as fiercely intentional. She'd rather pour the truth into a chord progression than into a talk show couch. And about the personal stuff? She said it plainly. Marriage and children weren't her path. She chose family in a wider circle, nieces, nephews, and the small tribe that helps make the records. Love, for Enya, is measured in trust and time. Here's a piece many folks miss: the pressure on an artist who makes quiet music loud. When a record becomes a phenomenon, the world wants another one yesterday. But what if the next one needs 5 years? Enya took the hit and waited. She once hinted that a great song feels discovered, not manufactured. You don't book it on a calendar. You make space for it, you respect it, and you don't release it until it's right. And that brings us back to the thing she finally revealed. Not a tabloid twist, not a shock romance, something deeper, hiding in plain sight. The silence isn't absence, it's craft. She confirmed what fans had guessed for years. She's still writing, still recording, still polishing those layers where a whisper can feel like a wave. But she'll do it without the circus. No frantic campaigns, no tour countdowns, just the slow work of making something that lasts. If you love the lore, there are sweet side notes. Sinead O'Connor once invited Enya to recite scripture in Irish on a debut album, a moment of two unique Irish voices crossing paths. Executive Rob Dickens at a major label famously gave Enya rare creative freedom, betting on the long game. Samples and reworks continue to keep her harmonies alive in new genres, proof that a singular sound can echo in ways its creator never planned. So, where is she now? Picture this: morning light through thick old glass, a piano waiting, a vocal booth ready for 100 versions of a single line, each one a slightly different tint. Enya has said she values the freedom to disappear into the work. When she surfaces, it's because something is ready. And if it takes a while, that's never been a bug in her story. It's the code. Maybe that's why listeners keep returning. In a world that's always sprinting, Enya offers a quiet that feels earned. Her songs don't beg for your attention. They reward it. They make a room feel like a chapel. They make a drive feel like a pilgrimage. And when the last note fades, you're a little lighter than before. Now, if you've ever pressed play on a rainy afternoon and felt your shoulders drop, you already know what I'm about to say. Legends aren't always loud. Sometimes they're a single voice multiplied 1,000 times until it sounds like the sky. Before you go, I'm curious, what's the first Enya song that took you somewhere? Drop it in the comments so we can build a little map of memories together. If this deep dive hit the right note, tap like, subscribe for more stories behind the music, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. Until then, breathe, listen, and let the quiet win.